The underground garage, beneath the glass and steel headquarters of Cross Automotive, felt more like a cathedral than a workspace. White LED panels stretched across the ceiling, bathing everything below in a sterile, almost divine glow. At the center stood the Ferrari. Low, aggressive, painted in a deep crimson that reflected the lights like liquid fire. It was a limited edition prototype, customized exclusively for Alexander Cross, the CEO whose name alone could shake stock markets. Yet despite its beauty, the Ferrari was silent, lifeless and unmoving, as if its soul had been drained. For 3 days, the most brilliant automotive engineers in the world had surrounded like doctors around a dying patient. They came from Italy, Germany, Japan, each armed with proprietary diagnostic systems, encrypted laptops, and confidence hardened by years of success. Sensors were tested, wires traced, systems rebooted countless times. Every scan returned the same result: no error detected, and still, when the ignition was pressed, nothing happened. No roar, no vibration, no life. The silence grew heavier with each failed attempt, pressing against the walls and the men inside it, until even the hum of the ventilation system felt unbearably loud. Alexander Cross stood a few steps away, arms crossed, his tailored suit sharply contrasting the grease-stained engineers around him. His face showed no anger at first, only disbelief. He was not a man accustomed to problems without solutions. He had built his empire on the idea that anything could be fixed with enough intelligence, money, or pressure. But this machine, this Ferrari, was defying him. "Explain it to me again," he said coldly, his voice echoing through the garage. A senior engineer cleared his throat and spoke carefully, choosing each word as if his career depended on it. "Sir, the engine is flawless. The ECU is responding within optimal parameters. The security system shows no breach, no malfunction by all logic. The car should start." Alexander's jaw tightened. "But it doesn't," he replied. "So your logic is useless." The words landed hard. No one argued. The CEO glanced at his watch, then back at the car. "I don't buy broken things," he continued. "If it can't be fixed, replace it." The suggestion felt like an execution order. This Ferrari was one of a kind. Replacing it would mean admitting defeat, something Alexander Cross had never done publicly. The engineers exchanged uneasy glances, knowing they were standing at the edge of professional humiliation, when suddenly the elevator at the far end of the garage chimed softly and began to open. From inside stepped a man who looked completely out of place. He wore worn jeans stained with oil, heavy boots scuffed from years of hard use, and a faded leather jacket that had clearly seen better days. His hands were dirty, his posture relaxed, and his expression calm, almost amused. He paused just inside the garage, eyes immediately drawn to the Ferrari. For a brief moment, it felt as though the rest of the room disappeared for him. Security moved quickly, one guard raising his hand. "You're not authorized to be here," he said sharply. The man didn't look at him. Instead, he tilted his head slightly, studying the car, and said almost to himself, "She's quiet because no one's listening." A ripple of laughter spread among the exhausted engineers, sharp and dismissive. Someone muttered, "Great. A poet." Alexander turned slowly, his gaze locking onto the stranger. "Do you have any idea where you are?" he asked. The man finally looked away from the Ferrari and met the CEO's eyes. "Yes," he replied evenly. "And I know you're all looking in the wrong place." The laughter died instantly. The room froze. One of the Italian engineers stepped forward, offended. "We've checked everything," he snapped. "Every system." The stranger nodded calmly. "You checked what the computers told you to check," he said, "not what the car is trying to tell you." That sentence cut deeper than intended. Alexander raised a hand, silencing everyone. "What's your name?" he asked. "Ethan," the man replied. "Just Ethan. And what do you do?" "Ethan, I fix cars," he said. "I'm a mechanic." A few eyebrows rose. The word mechanic hung in the air like an insult. Alexander studied him for several seconds, then gestured toward the Ferrari.
You have 2 minutes, he said.
If you waste my time, you're done here. Ethan didn't rush. He didn't pull out tools or connect devices.
He walked slowly around the Ferrari,
his eyes tracing its lines,
his fingers hovering just above the surface without touching, as if respecting something sacred.
He crouched near the driver's side,
listening not to the engine, but to the subtle electronic hum most people ignored.
The engineers watched in disbelief as he stood, closed the door gently, and placed both hands flat on the hood.
Then, to everyone's shock, he closed his eyes.
Whispered comments spread through the room. What is he doing? This is ridiculous.
Alexander said nothing, but his attention was fully fixed now. The seconds stretched.
Then faintly a dashboard light flickered once.
Then again Alexander straightened.
Ethan opened his eyes. You locked her down to hard. He said quietly, your custom security system is fighting.
The core control logic.
The car doesn't recognize you anymore. It thinks it's under attack. A murmur ran through the engineers.
That's impossible, one said.
That system was designed by you, Ethan interrupted gently. But not for this version of the car. The dashboard lights suddenly illuminated in sequence, like a heartbeat returning. Alexander took a step forward, his face pale.
Stop, he said sharply, fear slipping into his voice.
Ethan removed his hands instantly, and the lights froze mid-cycle. The garage fell into complete silence. Alexander stared at the Ferrari,
then at Ethan. If you're wrong, he said slowly, you don't walk out of here.
Ethan nodded, completely unbothered. And if I'm right, he replied.
This isn't just about a Ferrari. The engine trembled softly, as if waiting for permission to breathe.
And in that moment, Alexander Cross realized that the most dangerous man in the room wasn't the billionaire CEO
or the world-class engineers.
It was the quiet mechanic who understood what no machine ever forgot.
The following morning, David couldn't stop thinking about Liam's words. She's my mom, please be my dad. The memory of the little boy's hopeful eyes lingered, almost haunting him in a comforting way. After dropping Alex off at school, David decided he needed to see them again, not just to check on the car, but to make sure they were okay. He drove slowly to Sarah Street, an unassuming neighborhood of small houses and well-tended gardens.
The rain had
stopped overnight, leaving the streets shiny and the air fresh. David parked a few houses down, taking a deep breath before stepping out. He didn't want to seem intrusive. He wanted to be welcomed, not imposed. As he approached, he saw Liam playing with a small toy car on the porch steps. His tiny hands rolled the car back and forth with intense concentration. When Liam noticed David, his eyes lit up like the sun breaking through clouds.
Hey, Mr. David.
Mr. David! He shouted, waving frantically. David smiled, crouching down to Liam's level.
Hey there, champ.
How's it going?
I was wondering
if you'd come.
Liam said, his voice serious for an 8-year-old.
Mom talks about you a lot. She says you're kind.
David chuckled
softly, brushing off the praise. Just helping where I can,
he said.
But it's good to see you again.
How's your mom? Liam glanced inside the house and whispered, almost conspiratorially,
She's worried.
But I think she likes you. Really likes you.
David's
heart skipped. He had always been careful, never mixing romantic feelings with helping others, especially single parents trying to survive. But there was something different about Sarah, something he couldn't ignore. Sarah stepped onto the porch, a mug of coffee in her hands. She looked at David, her face showing gratitude, caution, and a hint of something else. Curiosity, maybe even hope.
Morning, David.
She said softly.
Morning, Sarah.
Morning, Sarah.
He replied, I thought I'd check in.
Make sure everything's okay with the car, and well, you guys.
She smiled faintly.
You didn't have to, but thank you.
It's nice to see you.
They spoke briefly, but Liam was clearly impatient. He tugged on David's sleeve. Mom, can he stay? Please?
I want him to stay. David looked at the boy.
Then at Sarah.
Liam.
Liam, that's a big ask, buddy.
I know, Liam said.
Liam said, his small hands tightening into fists.
I can tell you'd be good for us,
I can tell you'd be good for us. Please?
David hesitated, unsure how to respond.
He wasn't just a stranger. He was someone with a past, someone with responsibilities already tied to his son Alex.
And yet, in Liam's
eyes, he saw something compelling, a quiet hope that tugged at his heartstrings. Over the next few hours, David helped around the house. He fixed a leaky faucet, adjusted a wobbly shelf, and even helped Liam repair a small toy robot that had been broken for months. Every small act of service brought laughter, smiles, and trust.
Liam's eyes
sparkled with admiration, while Sarah watched quietly, impressed by David's patience, kindness, and natural way with the child. As the afternoon sun filtered through the curtains, Liam sat beside David on the couch, resting his head against his shoulder. I don't have many people to look up to, but I think you could be the one, Liam said softly.
His
words were simple, but the weight behind them was enormous. David swallowed, feeling an unfamiliar lump in his throat.
You really
mean that?
He asked. Liam nodded.
Liam nodded, eyes earnest.
I do.
I do. Mom says family isn't just blood, it's the people who care about you. I want you to care about us. Sarah, who had been observing quietly, finally spoke.
David.
David, I know this is sudden, and it might feel overwhelming.
But
I've never met anyone who seems to care so naturally, who treats Liam and me with such respect and kindness.
I trust you.
I trust you. David felt something shift inside him, a gentle, warm pull toward this small family. He had always been protective of his own heart, wary of attachments, but here was a woman and a child, opening themselves in a way that demanded courage, compassion, and honesty. The conversation continued as the evening approached. They laughed, shared stories, and even cooked dinner together. A small, simple meal of pasta and salad. Liam helped set the table, proudly showing off his little victories, while Sarah and David exchanged glances that spoke volumes.
Words were
secondary. The connection was clear, built in shared moments, laughter, and small acts of care. Later, as Liam prepared for bed, he whispered once more to David, "Promise me you'll think about being our family?" David knelt beside him, brushing his hair gently from his forehead. "I promise I'll think about it, Liam." I promise.
As he walked out
that night, David felt an unfamiliar mix of emotions, hope, fear, and excitement. He knew that blending families was never simple. Challenges would come, doubts would arise, but for the first time in years, he saw a possibility of love, belonging, and a second chance, not just for him, but for both Sarah and Liam. That night, as he drove home, the memory of Liam's earnest eyes and quiet whisper lingered. David knew this was only the beginning of a journey that could change everything, for him, for his son Alex, and for the little family waiting for him to take the first step.
The simple
act of helping a broken-down car had transformed into something far greater, a chance at love, connection, and a family waiting to be built. The days following David's visit were filled with small yet meaningful moments. He continued helping Sarah and Liam, fixing minor issues around the house, teaching Liam little tricks with his toys and gadgets, and spending afternoons talking with Sarah about life, hopes, and challenges.
Every
interaction revealed more about the woman he had come to admire, her resilience, her warmth, and the unwavering love she had for her son. Sarah noticed David's gentle nature, the way he approached problems calmly, and the genuine care he showed toward both her and Liam. One Saturday afternoon, David arrived with Alex, his son. The two boys immediately bonded, their laughter filling the house. Liam proudly showed Alex his small achievements, repaired toy cars, drawings, and little inventions. David watched with a full heart, feeling a rare sense of harmony. After lunch, while the boys played, David and Sarah sat quietly on the porch, sipping tea. The air was warm, the sun filtering through the trees, and for the first time, they could talk without distractions.
"David, I need to
ask you something," Sarah said, her voice slightly trembling. "I know this all started with the car, but do you think maybe you could see us as family?" David looked at her, his expression soft. Sarah,
I've never been
in a situation like this. I have responsibilities to Alex, and life isn't simple.
But
these past few days, I feel something I haven't felt in a long time. I feel like I belong here. She reached for his hand, squeezing it gently. We don't expect everything overnight. We just want to try to see if it works. David nodded, feeling tears prick his eyes.
Then let's try. I'll do my best for Liam and for you.
For Liam and for you. Liam, who had been quietly listening from the doorway, ran up and hugged David tightly.
Yes, I knew it.
I knew it.
He shouted. His laughter was
infectious, filling the room with warmth and joy. Over the next few months, life began to blend seamlessly. David balanced time between Alex and Liam, ensuring both boys felt loved and secure. Sarah and David developed a quiet understanding, a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and love. Evenings were spent playing board games, fixing bikes, or simply sharing stories. Weekends turned into family adventures, picnics, bike rides, and trips to the park. Slowly, David realized that love wasn't just about romantic gestures. It was built in everyday acts of care, patience, and presence. One evening, as the sun set, Liam tugged David aside. Mr. David, can I call you Dad? He asked, his small face earnest.
David
knelt, looking him in the eyes.
If you want Liam.
If you want Liam, yes, you can. Liam's face broke into the widest smile David had ever seen. Yes.
Thank you. Sarah washed from
the doorway.
Her heart full. I think you've
earned the title, she said softly, smiling. David laughed, pulling both Sarah and Liam into a warm embrace. He felt a sense of completion, a feeling that life had finally aligned in the most unexpected but perfect way. The story of a single dad helping a broken-down car had transformed into something far greater, a new family built on kindness, courage, and love. Liam finally had a father figure, Sarah had a partner she could trust, and David had found a family that filled the empty spaces in his heart. And as they watched the sunset together, David realized that sometimes life's most profound changes begin with the simplest acts of kindness.